Tonight, I'm going to share something with you. I'm excited to share it because I have encounters with God. But sometimes he'll give me an encounter and he'll give me an instruction or he'll enlighten me to something, and it will excite me to the point because I realize what God just imparted into me is going to change my life. And I had such an encounter this past weekend.
Okay.
I was at the church, cleaning the church that I attend. And as I was cleaning and meditating and thinking on the word, I heard God say these words to me. And these words were, "For he is a rewarder to them that diligently seek him."
Right.
When I heard that, I thought, that's the faith scripture. That's part of the faith scripture. For he is a rewarder to them that diligently seek him. Matter of fact, it's in Hebrews 11:6. And what it says is, without faith, it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to him must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder to them that diligently seek him. And so I went home. When I finished my work, went home, because he kept speaking the word diligently. Diligently. And I knew God was speaking something about, or getting ready to instruct me on how to be more diligent. And I realized, and I'm one of those people where, God has to deal with me very simply. I'm not so deep that when God starts speaking stuff, I can go deep. No, he deals with me very simply. And so I think very simply, and it dawned on me as I was going home to look up and study this particular scripture, and more so this particular one word, that we talk a lot, we sort of run over that part of the scripture. We don't really delve into what it means to diligently seek.
Okay. You're right.
So when I looked up the word diligence in the original Greek, my spirit leaped. Even though God had to break it all down to me, my spirit began to leap. And what the word diligence, with all the definitions that it had, there was one that stood out in the original Hebrew. And it says that diligence is the act of learning through experience.
All right.
And then it had the English word to prognosticate.
Okay.
So I took all of this into consideration, and you know how God will speak to you and things will come fragmented. So I'm looking at the word prognosticate, but I'm happy about this first part of it, that it says to learn through experience. So I said, God, what are you telling me? And God began to deal with me concerning a work that he has assigned my hand to do. And he said, many times people don't fully get their reward or don't fully get what he is giving them because of the fact that they don't know how to be diligent. They know they have to do it God's way. They know they have to seek God's face. They know they have to get instruction and direction from God. But then when they get started and things don't fall into place the way they need for them to fall into place, they stop.
Right. Amen.
I said, okay, God, I got that. And he took me back in time to a time when I was in school at the University of Charlotte. I was taking a class, and it was a public relations class. The instructor of the class went out in the community and got people who needed volunteers to work in the community to do various things as far as public relations was concerned. The group I had to work with, she divided the class into groups of 5, and the group I was in, we were supposed to get a public service announcement done for senior services of Charlotte. Well, actually for senior services of America.
Uh-huh.
And so when she gave out all the tasks, my job in my group was to get this PSA aired. I was supposed to get 2 radio stations, 2 television stations to air this particular tape. Otsy Davis at the time had done the public service announcement. It was on a tape, and we were supposed to get, or I was supposed to get that aired. That was my job. Had never done it before. Didn't have a clue as to what to do. Here I am, back in school. I'm the oldest person in the class. And so I didn't have a lot of skill with, and I still really don't, but at that time I couldn't really cut a computer on real good. Here I am, I've got a tape that I've got to get aired on television and on radio, and I don't know what to do. So I had a meeting with the instructor, with the teacher, and I said, and I remember saying these words to her: just point me in the right direction. If you will show me or give me some further instruction, then I'll get it done. That's no problem. I went through all of that, letting her know, what my little inadequacies were, that I didn't understand how to use technology. I didn't know. I went through all of that. She sat there and listened to me. And her response when I finished was, figure it out. Ha! That's all she would say. Figure it out. I remember being very upset with her because I'm looking at it from my viewpoint. Here I am, I'm coming to you and asking you for help. And you're not helping me. So of course I had to come up with the reason why she didn't want to help me. So I just decided, well, I'm the oldest thing in there because I was about to be 40 years old. I was 39. And all these people, including her, was young. So I'm thinking, okay, she don't like old people. That's why she ain't helping me. And that was, I convinced myself that was the case. So I left her office upset. I took the little PSA. Before I go further, the one thing I want you to understand what I was feeling when I left her office, not what made me be angry, not that I was annoyed and angry, but I was angry because I felt inadequate. I felt that this was a huge task. I'd never done it before. I had no frame of reference. There was nobody that I knew in my little circle that I could call to help me. So I'm thinking I need more help than what you just told me. All you did was hand me a tape, tell me to go get it aired, told me what you expected, and then cut me loose. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling it at all. And the only response you're going to give me is figure it out. Here I am. I lived in Salisbury at that time. I didn't know anything about Charlotte. I could get to Charlotte. I could get to campus. That's it. Now I got to figure out how to get around Charlotte. I don't know. And at that time, I didn't have a GPS. Cell phones were in existence in 1997. I didn't have that. Didn't feel the need to. Then told myself, I don't need all of that. So I didn't have a cell phone. Didn't have GPS. But now here I am in a situation, I need to be able to get around in a city I don't know nothing about, and I'm not equipped. I had to figure out where the television stations and the radio stations that I was going to hit was. Had never had no experience doing that. So from all of this and then other things, I'm feeling anxiety. I don't know how I'm going to get this done. I know I got to get it done if I want the right grade. But I don't know how to get it done. So I'm mad. Because I'm sitting here feeling like you can tell me what to do, but you just purposely not telling me what to do. The only thing you saying to me is figure it out. Long story short, I'm going to give you the end part of it. I had to figure out how to get around Charlotte. I had to work out a strategy. get you around. So that was my way around Charlotte. Had to figure out how many TV stations and radio stations are in Charlotte. At that time, there was a lot of them, little small, local stations. Had to figure that out. But you know what? In the end, I got the PSA aired. God took me back to that. And I heard him say, because I've been asking God, give me some direction as to how to get done the things you've asked me to do. I'm going to do it. I haven't forgotten about that, so I done had this conversation before with somebody. I'm going to get it done. I just need some more help. And his response was, figure it out. Come on up in here, somebody. So my part was thinking, well, God, you always told us don't lean to our own understanding. To see how we try to argue with God and get religion. And that's all he would say, is figure it out. And he took me back to the word diligence. And that was why my spirit was happy. My spirit understood something that my flesh was resisting. The act of learning through experience. What God made me to understand was, if I wanted this to come to pass the way he needed it for it to come to pass, I was going to have to go back, use the resources that he's given me, and do what he said do. What he made me to understand was diligence deals more with your determination to do than your knowledge to do. Come on up in here, somebody. In God's eyeballs, he then gave you everything that we need to accomplish everything that he said. Where we fail a lot of times is we sit down on the seat of do nothing, as the old people used to say, and we figure we're being faithful because we believe God can do it. God is saying, I can do it. That's why I'm using you. I have put the resources in your hand. How did I get that PSA on the air? Well, the first thing, I had to use my resources. I had transportation. I had a friend that lived in Charlotte. Come on, somebody. I had a textbook that had different instructions in it. Oh, y'all ought to be going with me. Y'all ought to be going. So I had enough resources. What I didn't have was somebody holding my hand every step of the way and telling me, this is that, turn right here, go right here and do this. There were going to be mistakes I was going to make. As a matter of fact, in the course of getting the PSA done, I made a lot of mistakes. One of the big ones was the tape that I was given to get aired was the wrong format. And I done already peddled it to a couple of places that took it. Come on, somebody. And I get to a place and there's one person in Charlotte who says, I can't use this. This is the wrong format. How do we respond when we start doing something and everything don't fall in place the first time? The only way you can learn something, listen to this, and I know a lot of people gonna fight me on this, but it's still nonetheless the truth. Most of the best lessons, and the only way you're gonna learn something is not only try, but try when it don't work out. That's diligence. Diligence says, but I'm going to get it done. I don't care what I got to do it. I don't care what I got to go through. I don't care how many failures that I think and how many challenges that I feel I'm going through. Diligence says, but I got to hang in there and get it done. And the word said he rewards that kind of attitude. What we call them failures, God ain't seeing it as failures. He's seeing them as learning experience. Because let's face it, he's God. He can stop a whole lot of things that he don't.
That's true.
And the reason he won't is because of what's in us. We're selling short what's in us. Come on, somebody. The best Diligence had a big celebration. Apparently the campaign went off and they got more volunteers than they had in X amount of years.
All right.
The mayor of Charlotte was there. Our little group was invited. A young lady walked up to me and said, "Is your name Shirley Vinson?" I said, "Yeah, I am." And she said, "My name is Katie Dooley." And she was like the president of something with senior services in Washington, D.C. She handed me her card. She said, "I heard you were largely responsible for what's going on here today." And she said, "We need more people like you in this organization." She said, "Think about it. And if you want to give me a call." And when she walked away, me included, and everybody in the group was like this. What happened? Diligence.
Yes.
I didn't give up.
Right.
What's the take-home message? And look at all I learned along the way.
Yes.
When you come to the hurdle of something or overcome a hurdle in something, you're not as afraid the next time.
Right.
One of the reasons why the enemy holds us in fear is because we get to a certain hurdle, we get scared.
Yes.
We defeat ourselves before we even get started.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
We tell ourselves what we can't do. We tell ourselves what we can't have. We tell ourselves what we ain't supposed to be able to function in.
Yes.
And without diligence, without that push, without that grit of wanting to have another experience, without wanting to learn, our lives would be not. This is why we live beneath our privilege.
Yes. Yes.
What am I saying to you? The next hurdle, the next challenge, the next time you have to conquer something, the next time something seems like it fails, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get back in the game, because it's diligence that's going to get you the reward. He is a rewarder to them that diligently seek him. I'll see you next week.